It would appear that AIMI has lost her mind in the most fantastic way ever. The song Magical Destroyer is not only absolutely insane, it has some brilliant little tricks in it. I'm looking forward to breaking this one down. Let's get into it. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where AIMI has released the song, as I say, Magical Destroyer, which is the theme tune to an anime, as so many songs are. I don't know the anime. I'm here to talk to you about the song. And you know what, usually when people say anime theme tunes though, you're thinking of something, oh, it's going to be safe, this is going to be something safe and catchy, something that's going to make people enjoy, you know, go, oh, it's a nice song that comes around every time I listen to the program that I like. Well, AIMI has decided to take that and just flip it on its head and do something absolutely batshit crazy. But you know what? There's actually some real brilliance in this song. And I'm going to get into breaking down why. But first things first, let's just quickly discuss what this song is. Now, if we were to take this song just completely on surface value and not look any deeper, effectively what's happening here is we have a song in three sections. We have a section where it starts with kind of like a pop rock thing, guitars are charging, there's big sung choruses, and then suddenly out of nowhere it breaks down into this weird distorted sort of, you can't even say the word, noise section where we get hammering sort of EDM rhythms that sound like something from a real dirty rave. We get this kind of shouted rap coming out of AIMI. It goes just absolutely crazy for a good period of time. And it does sound like some real dirty punk, rave, rap mix. It's crazy, but at the same time, it manages to hold on to that catchiness. And then out of there, we burst back into basically a return to that sort of punk pop bit from earlier. And the one thing that sort of typifies all of this is that it keeps two main qualities throughout. One is a catchiness. They're clearly going for sort of catchy refrains all the way through. Even in that dirty bit, she's got repeating certain bits that are very much designed for you to be able to sort of call and answer, sing along to. And then in the sort of punky bits, she's singing choruses that, again, you kind of feel like the audience could sing along with. And the other thing as well is a constant sense of urgency. Very interestingly, this song always sounds like it's really sort of urgently against the clock, pushing with some sort of time limit, like something big's about to happen, which the video also kind of nicely backs up, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So effectively, that's what we're looking at. A song that does go absolutely crazy, is broken into very distinct sections that only just really hold together because of the fact that they maintain a sort of constant sense of urgency, which unifies those three parts. But there's a little bit more here in actuality. In actuality, what this song is doing, really it has 5 sections. Now let's take, for example, what I just said there. We start with the pop punk bit, then it goes into that sort of dirty EDM rap bit, and then we have the last bit where it goes back to the pop punk. Well, actually what we're getting here is those pop punk sections are kind of broken into 2. So we take, for example, the first one. It starts with a chord pattern that is going up. It's a 4-chord pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, but it's going up. So it starts low and goes up, then up, then up. It's kind of got a hopeful feeling, building up. The song starts with a real sense of hope. Then it turns around, but it doesn't really signpost it very much. It does it in a way that just kind of sort of slips by. It sounds very natural. And then we go into a sort of a chord pattern that goes down, down, down. Still kind of sounds punk rock. It's got that energy, got that urgency, but we've gone from hopeful into something a little bit more purposeful, a little bit more driven. And then from there, that's what bursts us into that EDM section. Now, when we come out to the last pop punk, we effectively do what we had before in reverse. So now we come out of the EDM section into a bit where we're now going down still. We go back to that downward feeling. So we've still got the urgency, but now we've got the pop punk back. And then that one shifts around in a much more signposted, in a much more sort of ceremonious way into this big final crescendo where everything goes up and we start. And so basically the song is going on a kind of nice V-shaped journey from the beginning where it comes in sounding very sort of grand and very hopeful, and then it gets a little bit more urgent, and then it goes into sort of sheer panic, and then it sort of pulls you back out into a section where everything's feeling sort of urgent but a little bit more hopeful, and then finally when this big glorious return to where we started, and with quite possibly one of the most effective crescendos. I know I just spat, I hope you didn't see that. It was only a little one. But we end with a really effective crescendo, and I just love that. This is not a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus song, and you know that's fine. That's what most contemporary pop and rock songs are, and it works great. Variations on that. I just love the fact that this song just throws that all out the window There's multiple choruses of, well, multiple refrains happening in various places, which you could say are catchy bits you'd gladly go back to that point in the song to hear. And yet it's just basically working this one long arc throughout. The entire song is like one gigantic bridge, and we all know how much I love bridges. I just absolutely adore the approach to the arrangement. And often one of the most difficult things when you have a song with an arrangement like this, where there is not a constant, sort of wish to go verse and then chorus and then verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or sort of putting in a chorus to have you something to keep the sort of tag along the listener, give them something that is, if you like, that point that resolves the song at a few points throughout. When you've got a song like this where the arrangement is just one big arc, it's knowing how to keep the listener sort of invested, and just the fact that there are those little bits, like in the EDM bit where she's doing the monster and she's sort of singing that and you're supposed to be singing along, that bit only comes around once, but when it's there it feels like the chorus, it feels like the big moment, and it just happens the once and it goes away. I like that attitude towards giving you something interesting to really sort of feel invested in at various points in the song without ever really needing to be repetitive. And that really pays off in the final conclusion when we get to that final crescendo where, like I say, because of the fact that it's built you up by giving you something that you know at the beginning is the sort of positive sound that the song can have, and then returning to that at the end, it really feels like it's completed an arc. It's a very clever piece of writing, very clever piece of writing. Now, to get into some of the details, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I can understand how some people, I think, will be thrown by that turn. I think most people listening to it casually, you're going to hear it as 3 sections, rock, and then suddenly EDM, and then rock. And I can totally understand how the way that it changes, especially the first one where it goes rock into EDM, it could be very jarring. I think if you're not prepped for it, or if you're not usually the sort of person who likes that kind of thing, it might take you several listens to even know if you can live with that at all. However, I would say it's worth giving it at least a try, maybe a couple of times if you need to get used to it. It certainly does pay off in the long run, and by the end of the song, I think you feel it. So I do think it plays a risky game with that. However, I think that's something that's worth looking into. I also think the production style, I loved the production throughout. I thought the pop rock sections were really well produced. They had that, when they needed to sound big and glorious, they did. They don't just kind of sound like strummy pop rock. There's enough in the arrangement that they sound big and triumphant when they get to the end. And then the EDM sections as well in the middle. I keep on calling it EDM, but it's such a mixture of different things going on there. But the way it gets really dirty and distorted, that section I think as well was really produced. It really did sound really gritty and sort of nasty, but not in a way that it just lost all musicality. So I really like that, but I can see how that would perhaps throw people. And last but not least, I have to give a little bit of credit to the music video for a couple of reasons. I mean, first of all, it's just a really fun video. It's a little bit over the top. It's kind of got little bits of anime vibe going on in the way that they sort of have her in the outfit and everything with the big sword and stuff. It's all very anime tropes. And yeah, it was obviously just filmed on a green screen, and we get that kind of thing. However, it's nice. It's visually appealing. I like the way that they have this whole thing where at the end, she's fighting against whatever alien, and then she's powered by the love of her supporters. It's all very trope-tastic, but I like it because it's just fun. But the big thing that I really like for it, the one thing that really makes this video work, I am sick, as someone who lives, in Tokyo, I am so sick of every bloody music video being on Shibuya fucking Crossing. And thank you, AIMI, for making your video in Akihabara, which is a much cooler place. Sorry. Yeah. East side of Tokyo every time. And I'm not going to start an east side, west side thing in Tokyo, I promise. I was really glad to see it in Akihabara, even if she, destroyed Akihabara. It was fun to see it there. I really enjoyed it. That was really cool. And yeah, to be honest, I just think every time I see a band do like a video in Shibuya Crossing, there's actually like a studio where you can film like Shibuya Crossing scenes who've actually made a recreation of Shibuya Crossing. It's somewhere in Japan, and like sometimes you see music videos filmed at Shibuya Crossing, it's because they've literally gone to this special place where it's recreated. It's crazy. So yeah, it's so nice with that trope to see someone breaking that and going to the much more visually captivating and genuinely more interesting Akihabara. Pull the lead out, doesn't really matter, I'm not listening to anything anyway. So there you go, let's get to some conclusions. In conclusion, this is bloody brilliant. I really like this. Yeah, it's not exactly the easiest song for multiple re-listens because of the fact that it does kind of require that you take it on its own terms. You know, you can't put this song in the background. It's not a background song. You have to sit down and give it attention, which means that, you know, putting it in a list of songs could be quite difficult to do. However, I think it's a really rewarding listen, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who's just interested in music, or if you just want something different, or if you want something that genuinely you give it the attention and it will reward you with a really sort of fantastic, uplifting ending, crescendo. I think this is a song for anyone who really just likes music, and how much it will stay with you, or how much you even like it on the first listen, is going to be a very interesting thing that hopefully you'll be able to tell me in the comments. What a segue. So until I see you there, or here, or anywhere else, certainly until I see you back in Japan, until then, for now, ciao ciao.